Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today, for clicking on my video. If you are new here, my name is Carolyn. I am currently, as I'm filming this video, pregnant with my first child. I am 20 weeks pregnant today. Actually, the day that I'm filming this is June 1st, 2021. And pretty much on my channel, anything that has to do with family, faith, marriage, and soon to be anything that is mommy related or baby related. I have posted so far in my pregnancy journey. I've been putting episodes up, and this is actually going to be my 4th episode. The first one was my dealing with the miscarriage. I actually did have a miscarriage last year and beginning of the year, and I uploaded a video talking a little bit about that. The second episode was me finding out that I am pregnant, and telling my husband and family members. I love that video. It was so much fun to film for you guys or share with you guys how that experience was. And the third episode I've uploaded, which is the last one I uploaded prior to this one, is our gender reveal. So if you're interested in watching any of those videos, I'll link them down in the description box, so you could just click on them if you want to get an update pretty much on how, you know, my pregnancy has gone up until today. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my first trimester recap: symptoms, cravings, and things they don't tell you. And whenever it is that I do film my second trimester recap, on that one I have a lot to share. I'm currently kind of miserable, hence me not getting ready. I was kind of hesitating, okay? I was like, should I go and like put something on my face and look somewhat presentable, because I am, you know, like just breaking out and stuff. But I was like, you know what, no, personally for me, in my videos, I just really don't. And if you see on any of the videos I've uploaded so far, I am like not really ready. If I feel like getting ready when I'm filming the video, I'll do it. But if I'm really just not feeling it, I'm not gonna force myself, and especially kind of just paint a false picture, you know what I mean? Like, really, this is just reality. I'm like this like 99.9% of the time. So if you want to keep being updated, if you're not subscribed, pause this, take a minute, and just literally boom, hit that subscription, and it's free. Yay! Okay, so jumping into my symptoms of my first trimester. If you are wondering, my first trimester, or any first trimester, not just mine, is from week 1 to the end of week 12. And I didn't have too many symptoms, but I am gonna share a little bit of what I did feel. One of the things that they say that you feel is like a lot of fatigue. You're really tired, like you want to like be napping or sleeping like all the time. For me personally, I didn't really have much of that. I didn't have a lot of exhaustion or anything like that. The only thing I did have, which was like the thing that just sucked the most, was nausea and vomiting. I had that a lot in my first trimester. No matter what I ate, or if I did eat or didn't eat, I would just have a lot of nausea and throw up a lot. And they say it's very normal for that to happen in the first trimester, because, you know, especially it being your first child, because your body is trying to adapt, and you know, things are happening inside that your body's not used to, and it's sort of just trying to get used to things kind of just moving around. And I mean, think about it, it's just crazy. Like, you're growing a human being literally inside of you. Like, you're making eyeballs, a mouth, and teeth and all that. Like, it's pretty crazy, okay? So but it was and so pretty much really early on in my pregnancy, I started with the nausea and the throwing up. They say once you start feeling nauseous in the morning when you wake up, have some crackers or some fruit, like something nearby, because, you know, sometimes you wake up really hungry. And I would wake up like the regular time that I do, like to go to work and stuff, and I would wake up with such a hunger, like I had to eat, like I did not have time to get up and take my time and brush my teeth and do this and that. Like I needed to eat like right away. So, you know, I did listen to that advice of like having some crackers or like some fruit, like light stuff, and that just really did not help me. I bought some little candies to help with my nausea that would help occasionally, but really quickly my body just got over those. They just did not help anymore. So I pretty much was on my own and kind of just had to live out and just go through the nausea and the vomiting and all that. So I had to kind of just go with the flow and eat a little bit, see how my body would take it, and if it didn't, I would keep on eating. If not, I would just stop and you know, go throw up if I had to and all that. So I definitely was not eating good at all in my first trimester. I didn't eat much in my first trimester. That was also something that concerned me, but my doctor did, you know, let me know that that was normal, and especially because, you know, your body's trying to adapt. But she did say that when, you know, the second trimester and the third trimester came along, that I did have to, you know, try a little bit harder to, you know, gain that weight that I didn't in my first trimester. I think in my first trimester I gained probably most a pound, and I know that sounds pretty crazy, but really like that's all I gained, if that. But just pretty much my days consisted of vomit and nausea and just being in bed, and that's all I wanted to do. So the third main symptom that I have was headaches. I had really bad headaches. Something that the doctor recommends you to take is Tylenol. Pretty much you can't take ibuprofen or any of that. I would take it when my headache was super bad. I think I only took that like 2 times, and then my headache was kind of really constant. And my personal choice for my body, my baby, like I did not want to be, you know, taking pills every single time I had a headache, especially because they were really common. If I got them, you know, here and there, then I wouldn't have mind taking Tylenol, you know, at the times that I got a headache. But since they were so common and so frequent, I would just live out the headache, and I would just be laying in bed and like just my head throbbing, but I just did not want to overdo it in the taking pills, or, you know, just taking it too much, even though it is, you know, recommended to take like the normal dosage in the appropriate amount of time span, whatever is listed on the bottle. You know, listen to that. But I just personally, for myself, I did not want to, you know, every day be taking pills. So yeah, so that was pretty much my biggest symptoms of my first trimester was nausea, throwing up, and headaches. The only cravings I did have was just sweet stuff. I am not a big sweets person. I'm not somebody who you know, likes the ice cream or likes to get this after, you know, like your dessert type stuff, like after you eat. That and elotes and takis. So that was pretty interesting, and it's just crazy like that you just crave something out of nowhere. I've come to learn many things in my first trimester where it's just crazy to me that it's just not talked about you know, a lot, or that you can't really just find it so easily on the internet, especially for first-time moms that you are figuring everything out on your own. Okay, so first things for things they don't tell you, or things I wish I knew, or something that I hoped I would have read somewhere that would have made my life a lot easier. So one is, how far along am I? So you just found out you're pregnant, you know, you're super excited and everything, but now you're just kind of like, okay, how far along am I? I was trying to think. I'm like, does it start when like your period ends, or when my last period was, or like, you know, when exactly? And I just started Googling, and, you know, of course Google helped me. So you just put like check how far along I am in my pregnancy, and a lot of different websites pop out for a due date calculator, and you can test a couple and kind of see the one that gives you the most common answer for how far along you are. And, you know, they also give you like an approximate estimated due date. So after you kind of see how far along you are, the second thing I wish I would have known is, when can I see my baby? The average time of when you're able to see your baby and check that, you know, the fetus has a heartbeat, you at least have to be 6 weeks. So when I found out I was like 4, 4.5 weeks, 5, I did have to wait a week and a half or so until I could schedule my appointment to see if my baby had a heartbeat. Third thing I wish I would have known is insurance. And I know this sounds very like obvious or kind of like hello, you know, but I did not know this. So it's definitely important, and it's very good if you do have insurance, if it's through third party, or if you have insurance directly with your work. And the reason being is because having a baby is very expensive. Hospital bills, and with your OBGYN, your doctor, it comes a lot. So you have to pay the hospital for, you know, you staying in the hospital for 2 days or 3 days, whatever, however long you stay. So you have to pay the hospital separately from the doctor that delivers your baby. So those are two separate like fees or payments you have to make. They're separate. So if you have insurance, call your insurance and ask them how much you are covered for. If it's 70% of the total of how much labor and delivery is going to be, and adding up, you know, the doctor visits and all that, does it cover 70%? Does it cover 100%? And that way you have an estimated amount of how much you're going to be paying out of pocket for your delivery, labor and delivery of your baby. If you do not have insurance, then pretty much you can choose any hospital you want to go to. You can choose any OBGYN you want to go to. And pretty much you have to pay everything, you know, out of pocket. The first ultrasound you go and get, you have to, you know, they usually make like payment plans, and when you first go, then you make your first payment. So like, let's say the doctor charges like $3,000. So what they do is within 9 months, they break up those payments. And so every single time you go in for a visit, you're gonna have to pay something out of pocket so it can start you know, collecting. So when you come close to delivering your baby, you've, you know, paid everything you need to the doctor. And yeah, that's pretty much how it works if you don't have insurance. And so that's just one bill. And then you would have to see with the hospital you're going to deliver out how much the cash pay is. So if you're paying out of pocket, you have to call and ask them to break down all the fees of how much the nurses get paid, how much if you were to get a C-section, an emergency C-section all of a sudden, how much is that, how much is a vaginal birth delivery, how much is it per night that you stay at the hospital, how much is it if you get the epidural. So there's many things that you can call the hospital and ask them for these individual things. And let's say, oh, but you know, if I call the hospital, what questions am I like supposed to ask? You can then ask to speak in the, you know, delivery department and have somebody, you know, talk to somebody. There's always, you know, people that work there that specialize in providing all the information they can to first-time moms, or just, you know, pregnant moms in general. And you can tell them, you know, the truth. You know, it's my first time being pregnant, I don't have insurance, I want to know how much I'm going to be paying out of pocket, how much the cash pay is going to be, and I would like to know a breakdown of all the things I should know, of things I will get charged for when that time comes for me to come to this hospital and deliver the baby. Usually they'll give you all the information over the phone, or some just, which makes it easier, I think, so you can have it and compare to everything, is they'll email you something with a breakdown of pretty much an estimate of how much everything is. So that pretty much just gives you a estimate of how much you're going to pay to deliver your baby at whatever hospital you want to. If you do have insurance, then you have to speak with the insurance, because there's certain hospitals and certain OBGYNs that do take your type of insurance. So you just pretty much just let them know, and they can give you like the top 100, for example. They can give you more, but like the top 100 hospitals and doctors that your insurance, that they do take your insurance. So then that way you can call different places and just make an appointment where you feel comfortable. Yeah, so you would just have to make those phone calls and get that information. And then the fourth thing, so now after you know how far along you are, you went to go check and your baby does have a heartbeat. After you figure out your whole insurance situation, then you have to call around, get yourself a OBGYN and where you want to give birth. So you know you're going to be calling hospitals. So for my insurance, I called, asked them how much I was going to be covered for. Then I started calling the different OBGYNs that my insurance that these places did take my insurance. So then I ended up scheduling an appointment with this OBGYN. I went and the OBGYN you go to, you have to ask them what hospitals they deliver at. Because let's say you want to deliver at so-and-so hospital, but your OBGYN doctor does not deliver there, then that's what you have to see. So ask your OBGYN, what are the hospitals they do deliver at? And based off of that, if they are the hospitals that you do like, then you know you'll consider this OBGYN. But let's say you really want to give birth at this certain hospital, but the OBGYN you found does not deliver there, then you know, of course, you want to call the hospital and tell them to give you a list of doctors that do deliver there, and that way you can find a doctor that does deliver at the hospital you want to give birth at. I just want to throw this out there, is the OBGYN place you go to, the doctor you go to, if you don't like it in your first visit there, you do not have to stay there. You can find somebody else, find another doctor and test them out and see if you are comfortable. And especially since you're just obviously very early on in your pregnancy, you have this luxury of being able to choose. It's definitely better in the beginning, so that way, you know, once you start going to places and you kind of see who you like, then you can stick with them, and then that way they can go along with you throughout your whole pregnancy, so you don't have a stranger delivering, you know, your baby, you know, the day that time comes. And yeah, those are pretty much the top 4 things that I wish I would have known prior to being pregnant, or just early on. I think it would have made things a lot easier. I had to figure out a lot of things on my own. My husband and I had to figure out a lot of things on our own. So yes, but I believe this pretty much wraps up all of today's video. I hope it was entertaining and as well informative for anybody who did need to hear this information. And again, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you know when I post a new video. I will see you guys next time in my next video. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day or night, whenever it is that you're watching this. God bless you, and see you next time. Remember, God is good all the time. Bye.